Yeah, I was here. I was actually there in 2018 when it was still really cold out, like January, February, March, somewhere. No, January, February, right? Because further south, a woman named Carrie lived by the bowling alley, the Walmart, and the Sheets, and of course, it didn't work out very well. And plus, she was nasty. I didn't realize all that about herself and her house and everything. But yeah, we went to this mall because Sears was closing down at the time, and they were doing clearance. And I guess she needed to get some stuff and things like that, you know, from there. And we walked around the mall too. So I remember this specific mall very well. And just watching this brings back a lot of those like memories of me walking around the mall. It was really cool in there. But yeah, you could tell it's kind of built like the Francis Scott Key Mall in Frederick. It's very similar to that, and very similar, almost similar to Hagerstown, but Hagerstown is a little bit more bigger than Francis Scott Key Mall, right? I'm basically a mall nut. Like when I see a building in a mall and everything, I can you know, figure it out. I can compare it to like whatever mall I've been to before and all that. So yeah, it's not a very big mall apparently. So it's almost 500,000 square feet, you know. I did not know that. Yeah, see, I had no idea that this even happened. That's pretty crazy, but I'm glad they got it back up and running though. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. I got to get up to Hanover by one of these days. Check it out again. I like how he plays a lot of that like music because it's not copyrighted, but then at the same time it's kind of like mall music, you know. So it actually fits the scene very well. So like Wally does it very well, you know. So yeah, credit goes out to him for making this video. Because if he didn't make this video, I never would have known about this. So you know, he's the one that brings it to light. Apparently, Rural King went into the old Sears building. And that's actually a cool store to go to. They have all cool stuff and they have some pretty neat stuff in there. I've been to a whole bunch of those in the past. You know, driving around the United States, you know. I mean, the southern part in the east. I've been all over, okay? I've been coast to coast in like almost 20 years now. That's why I really want to get I want to get into an RV. I want to get out of this apartment, and I want to do some serious travel, like all over the United States, coast to coast, border to border. So I gotta do it. I want to do that for at least 10 to 20 years. Something. I don't really care at this point. I just want to go. I just want to get the hell out of here. And I know it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be stressful. It's gonna piss me off. I'm gonna run into a lot of bad characters. All this and that, but if I play my cards right, I can minimize that. You know what I mean? I'm doing pretty good so far when I stay in the van. So I wonder what happened there. What in the world happened there? Oh man, that really.
The fire that occurred just behind me in this J.C. Penney came in around 5 o'clock. The good news, the building is vacant, and there were no injuries save for one firefighter who did sprain a muscle. But the wind just made things really difficult for firefighters.
When crews arrived on scene, they were faced with flames, smoke, and heavy winds. One supervisor on scene said the wind was so strong that it pushed the smoke horizontally across the parking lot and increased the supply of oxygen fueling the fire, causing it to spread faster. According to the Hanover Fire Department, the lead agency on scene, the fire started in the HVAC system on the roof of the J.C. Penney. Firefighters could be seen tearing through the roof to access the space between the building's rubber roof and metal deck just below it, according to a member of the Hanover Fire Department. Around 7:30, he says, the fire was contained and ultimately extinguished.
After checking for any hot spots and structural damage that could be hazardous, they did pack up and leave the scene.
The Hanover fire chief got his first look inside this building earlier today. He's here with the state police fire marshal. This is the building where the fire started. It's a vacant J.C. Penney store, but most of the damage is up on the roof. That's where it's believed a rooftop HVAC unit was in flames. The actual cause of the fire is undetermined right now, according to the state police fire marshal. There's still questions about what actually started the fire that sent thick.
Oh my God, it's so easy to figure that one out.
70 firefighters were called out to fight it.
What the exact cause up in that one of those units? But the exact cause, was it gas? Was it electric? Who knows? It's beyond our scope to be able to tell us, to be able to tell anybody what actually started it when you're dealing with a unit like that.
Yeah, it's a package unit. It's like one of those. It's like one of those units that is boxy in shape, and if you look at a Google satellite view of a mall or shopping center, you'll see them. You'll see like two round things, you know, on top of the units, or three or four. It depends on how big the units actually are. And, you know, if they're like 10-ton, 20-ton units, you know, I mean, not like weigh that much, but the cooling capacity, right? Or the heating capacity is rated in like BTUs and things like. It's kind of complicated. You gotta watch like HVACR like videos and HVACR and all those other guys, and they'll explain it to you. There's a lot of information out there. But yeah, like you said, it could be gas, it could be electric, it could be both. You know, it could have been a gas leak, could have been the gas valve that actually sends the gas into the burners. It could have been leaking, faulty. Motor could have sparked. Gas could have built up inside the cabinet. You know, it's basically like a metal box. Could have built up inside the cabinet. Dust can be in there. You know, dust is actually flammable if you think about it. Contains all sorts of stuff. It's dry. It can be like grain. You know, like a grain silo fire. It could just poof. You know, dust is pretty nasty. So yeah, like I said, I've been in this mall in like January, February. I gotta look at my timeline again, and I can accurately tell you exactly when I was there. I parked at the bowling alley parking. This was further south of that mall though, so like several miles south. But I still got to see the city of Hanover. I got to see the Utz plant. I got to see the mall, the inside of the mall. I got to see the Sears when it was still open, just going out of business. It was literally just about to close. Like it was like within, I think like another 4 days, and they were closing. So I got lucky enough to go in there. I should have made a video. I should have, but I didn't really know about these mall videos. Yeah, I was kind of starting to get turned on to it, but I didn't really think about it at that time. Now I do though. Now if I was to see an abandoned mall driving, oh, you bet I'm going to make a video. You bet I'm going to go in there if it's open, and you know I'm going to make a video. That's just the way it is. But it's just sad to see that they would leave the HVAC unit on when a building's vacant. They're supposed to turn it off. I mean, yeah, it's going to get moldy and nasty, stinky in there and all that, but it's better to have it off than to have it turned on and then have a potential fire. And that's what happened here. They neglected to properly shut down the building until further notice. It's the mall. It's the property, you know, and management. They neglected to do the proper thing to take care of the situation. So let's go back to the video here.
To $1 million. Some stores here at the North Hanover Mall are closed. Some are open. There is some smoke and water damage through sections of the mall.
Yeah, but not that far. The mall is all single story. That might have been it right there, actually. I don't know. I can't begin to tell you. Oh, I could look up on a Google Street View and probably tell you exactly. Yeah. Okay, maybe that was the JCPenney. That was the mall entrance itself. And this was Penny's right here. As you can see, there's a curb right there, and there's a... I don't know. Wow, that's looking pretty dead right there. I wonder if Burlington's even open or not. It depends on what time he got there, though. If he got there before the mall actually opens, then yeah. Huh. Okay. Yep. That was a former Sears, all right. I think that's the mall entrance right there that we actually went through.
The Ninja Woodfire
Crap.
Outdoor Grill and Smoker. Sear and char like a full-size propane grill.
Come on. I think that was the actual mall entrance that we went through. I don't know. Can't tell you. Look at that. It's starting to... Oh my god. That ceiling's... That's falling apart. That's horrible. Another good mall about to close. This really sucks. You could tell that they're not taking care of it. And this might have been the entrance that I actually walked through. And I probably did notice this too. I probably did. Just because I'm like that. I have something going on with my mind where I just... It's hard to explain. I mean, I'm probably slightly like autistic or something, where I don't know. I kind of notice things that most people really don't, to be honest. Yeah, he's right. He like he says, it is hurting. I would just say it's on life support and it's about to flatline.
Oh, it's a smoke-free mall. Very good.
Yep. I don't like the smell of cigarette smoke at all.
Well, the heat works.
Ah, yes, indeed. The heat does work here, in more ways than one.
Heck yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hanover, Pennsylvania, and welcome to the North Hanover Mall. The little
Those are a scam. These things, those equal ATMs, please do not use it. Please don't.
I visited in March of 2023, almost a year to the day, and had no idea about the fire or this mall's existence in general.
Really?
I spent a weekend in Gettysburg, which is only about 15 or so minutes away to the west.
Yeah, he's right. Yep, Gettysburg.
That was in Hanover. And
oh, you know what? I actually went through Gettysburg. I think I made a video about that, and I was going to York to get to get that inverter right there. I was going to York, and I met the guy at the storage unit, and I bought that for $100, and it was about $100 in gas to go back and forth. So yeah, I could have easily won here, and I think I even messaged Jake Smith, and was trying to see what he was up to, if he wanted to meet up or something, but I didn't really get a chance to wait for his response and then go from there, because I was in a rush to get the inverter and then get back here. Now, if he wanted to meet up, that would have been fine. He was one of the guys that was with us on the Kozer Park trip in Bainbridge, just south of the 3 mile 3 mile power station, which I didn't know was that close to the park. I had no idea. I did make videos about it. I did post it. That was on my former channel, which was struck down because of a hacker. YouTube sent me a email saying, "Hello Ripple, blah blah blah," and that was it. And they call me Ripple, so someone obviously hacked my channel, and it was probably one of those Hindi, ones or something. So yeah, it sucks. But I want to get a chance to get up in this area once again and really check things out.
Upon this mall and was fascinated with it very, very quickly. Just like my visit a year ago, it was cold in March and the HVAC system was doing its job. And unfortunately for one of the units above the JCPenney, it decided to give up the ghost, and it caused a 3-alarm fire, which caused almost $1 million in damage to the property. And it closed off the inside of the mall for a little while. Here in 2023, they're still repairing the mall and recovering from it. You'll see towards the end of the video when I make my way down the JCPenney wing how there's a big tarp covering the entranceway for the old store, as the store itself is now demolished. Obviously, the HVAC system down there isn't working, so they have a space heater set up for the Coral GNC store, which is basically isolated in the corner all by itself and in the dark because the lights don't work either. As I said, it's still an active construction site, and I'm excited to see what it'll look like when it's done. Hopefully the mall will bounce back from that.
I hope so. I don't want to see
a pretty big hit because of it, but hopefully it'll be nice.
Because the one in Lake Forest shut down, and he made a video about that. And I got a video, I think, up me driving around the Lake Forest property showing it that it was closed. And
here we're looking at the center court.
It's really, it really sucks.
The mall at one point in time was owned by Priet. Still had some character to it with those skylights at least. And nothing beats this Easter display. Hey, I gotta give it to them. They tried. Even though these little buddies right here were kind of creepy looking in a way.
No, I don't think so.
Alright, let's get into the history of North Hanover Mall, shall we? In 1967, the mall opened as an open-air strip mall including W.T. Grant, Town & Country, which was a discount chain then owned by Lane Bryant, Sears, and Food Fair.
Make sure it's on 4K here.
In 1970, the mall underwent reconstruction to become an enclosed shopping mall, with Bon Ton moving from an existing store downtown and JCPenney joining. The Town & Country store became Kmart, which moved out in 1995 to a superstore nearby that closed in 2004 and became Black Rose Antiques. If you're not familiar with Black Rose Antiques, they have a really awesome antique store at the Chambersburg Mall, which is much larger than the one here at North Hanover, with thousands and thousands of items to search through. The one here at North Hanover Mall has mostly furniture, but hey, if that's what you're looking for, you might have come to the right place. Definitely check them out. They're a great family-run operation. Anyway, getting back into the history of North Hanover Mall. In 2006, Bon Ton moved out. In 2007, construction began to build the Dick's Sporting Goods while demolishing the former Bon Ton for a 2-story Boscov's.
I remember that one right there. I think there was an Auntie Anne's right there, as a matter of fact. I think
was dealing with their own financial issues, including bankruptcy. Though Boscov's was supposed to open in 2008, its opening date was later pushed back to 2009. However, in April of that year, the mall's manager confirmed that Boscov's would not be opening. As a matter of fact, at that time they closed several stores. Hard to believe that for how well they're doing nowadays. Anyway, in 2012, JCPenney decided to move into the space originally planned for Boscov's.
To remember what that entrance is for right there.
Here we're walking up to one of the entrances to Black Rose Antiques. And speaking of which, one source said back in 2006 or 7 that Black Rose had left the mall. I'm not sure how true or not that is, but as you can see, they are here at the mall. So whether they moved out and came back is one thing, or if the report isn't accurate, I don't know. But either way, it's a great place. As you can see here, this mall has a lot of white paint to it.
Yeah, it
this
does.
Was Crown American property that went through the trial and error of Pennsylvania Real Estate Investment Trust, otherwise known as Priet, which likes to white out malls, kind of like Simon does. Anyway, speaking of Priet,
I never thought about that, to be honest.
September 9th, 2014,
I think they were still there.
It sold the mall, as well as State College's Nittany Mall, for a combined $32.3 million. The name of the buyer was not immediately available, and a trust spokesperson was not available for comment.
So Verizon might have been in the kiosk, and then they got their own store.
Create sold the mall as part of a portfolio improvement initiative it launched in 2012, which involves selling underperforming properties. The 452,000 square foot North Hanover Mall had sales of $275 per square foot at the end of June, and a non-anchor occupancy of 72.8%.
Looks like a Bed Bath & Beyond right there. That
sales and occupancy.
they might have been there then.
Trust portfolio, which had average sales of $370.
A lot of dime malls always have a clears.
And a non-anchor occupancy of 89.5% for the same time period. The buyer of the mall was Mason Asset Management of Great Neck, New York. With Namdar. If you know anything about Namdar, they are lackluster in mall ownership. Look at some of the properties they own, including Uniontown Mall, which
Fishbone.
They are working.
Never heard of that.
Place better.
Oh my god, it's so hard to remember some of this.
Namdar doesn't have necessarily a great track record for owning malls and doing anything about it. This place is trying to come back. For a Namdar property, this place was actually very nice inside. And as you can see the construction here, where the JCPenney once was, this is where the fire was. And I have to tell you something. Walking through here nearly a year after the fire, I could still smell smoke and fire through this entire corridor. While it wasn't strong, it was faint. You could still smell it. And that was unbelievable to me. And back here in this dark little corner is the poor GNC store. I'm surprised they didn't relocate them to a better part of the mall, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, the mall could have easily gave them a credit or something, you know? That's a pretty big heater.
As we take a look at this corner and the poor GNC just isolated here. Though Namdar doesn't really have a good track record with malls, I gotta hand it to this place. The mall was really nice where it wasn't under construction. It was very clean, and there were 3 maintenance guys actively working the entire time I was there. And I have to say, they were busting their butts to keep the mall nice and clean, even though there weren't a whole lot of customers. And the construction site down here was still actively being worked, and I would like to think, after a year of work now, it'll finally get finished.
The Metro store. I didn't know they had a Metro there.
Getting back into the history of this mall as we begin to wrap up.
That's pretty cool.
On January 4th, 2018, Sears announced it would be closing its store and would close in April of 2018. On June 4th, 2020, JCPenney announced that their store would be closing and would close on October 18th. Rural King would open in the former Sears location in the spring of 2021. And as for Dick's Sporting Goods, I can't tell you when that store closed, simply because it closed so recently that I haven't been able to find any info on it. Anyway, that is the North Hanover Mall. A little gem, about 15 minutes to 20 minutes east of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Definitely stop by and check it out. I really like this place a lot.
Yeah, same here. I definitely like it.
Here, which I couldn't figure out what it was, but I love the little paintings of the puppies on there, the little corgis.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I think that was open back in 2018.
You guys watching the video. If you enjoyed,
I don't remember exactly what it was though, but I do remember it was open. I remember now.
To all of our Patreon supporters that make
I remember seeing those 2 pictures.
Very difficult.
I just don't remember exactly what it was. It sucks. I remember pictures and stuff very well. I don't remember, like,
the link is in the description.
it's just how it's weird how I'm.
Like these small videos without.
Yeah, like go and check him out. He makes a lot of great content.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm going to take off now. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. The next mall videos that I have for you.
Yeah, check out Wally B26, everybody. I mean, he's the one that he's the one that can actually afford to get around and actually do these. I can't do that. If I could, I would.
To share those videos
I would love to go and
Thanks for watching.
go and do all this
Take care
and
stay awesome as always.
drive around and just go to a mall and do a video. But unfortunately, I can't afford to do that.
All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
And I need to go up to Lake Forest and try it again. I mean, or try to get inside of Lake Forest somehow. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be on a pretty tight watch, you know. But I need to get hooked up with the right people that can actually get me into abandoned buildings and stuff, and that way I can do videos. You know, I need to hang out with the right crowd.
I'm not excited to shop here in years. I wonder what mall they got those from.
Right? Yeah, Wally and JP Videos, Jake Smith, Matt MPG, Out and About with Mr. Science, RJ11 or the RJ something Productions. These are all good. They're all good people, you know. I actually met a good amount. Didn't meet JP yet though. But I met Matt MPG, I met Randy, I met Kathy, I met Jake, I met Becky. Who else did I meet while they're at Calder Park? I think Craig Michael of the Cooks. I had other channels linked in the Calder Park video, so and try to stay in contact with them too, you know.
Now he's being hunted.
But yeah, it really sucks that the I'm just glad it's still around. That's all I can say. I'm glad the mall is still around. Unlike Lake Forest gave up the ghost. They were done almost a month ago now, and it's unfortunate, you know, because that was a really good mall. I was there 4 or 5 years ago at least, and it was going pretty good. Now it's dead. And just recently too, I've been to Montgomery Mall, the Westview Montgomery, and that mall is much smaller. It's doing okay. It's not like it's not going to go under anytime soon, but it gives you that feeling that it's not. The mall isn't what it used to be. It used to be really, really. I actually enjoyed going to it when I first got to the area. I enjoyed going there, but now it's just not as pleasant now to go there. You know. Of course, it's all about the people. If you interact with really good people, whether they work there, shop there, you know, things like that, your experience will be better. But it's like nobody really wants to interact. Nobody really wants to have a talk. You know, I'm just in there a couple minutes anyways, but still, I try to interact with people if I can while anywhere I go, and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's like I'm more keeping to myself nowadays than I did several years ago, but it's just because things are kind of changing over time. And I don't like that. I really don't. If I could afford to do more, I would get out and do more. You know what I mean? But right now, any kind of money has to go for gas, has to go to keep the van working properly. I really want an RV right now and get out and actually travel. And I want my girlfriend and her son to be able to do the same thing too. But we need something big enough to accommodate the 3 or 4 of us, you know? But it's just not going to happen right. It's going to take a long time, you know, to get there. So... yeah, being said, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning already, so just waiting to get my clothes dry here and just do laundry and everything. But yeah, the last couple of days I've just been in my van in a parking garage, plugged in. Don't really run the AC much just because I don't want to draw the wrong kind of attention. But at the same time, I'm going to have to start doing that if I'm going to be there. There's no way around it. So, anyways. All right, everybody. I will see you later, okay? And have a good morning.